You think a better job will save you, but 5 invisible habits are quietly stealing your future. Across cities and timelines, the same story repeats. People chase a shinier role, a new hustle, a different lane, and yet the bank balance stays stubborn. The investigation leads to a startling pattern. Wealth does not slip away by accident. It is drained by 5 habits that feel harmless in the moment and catastrophic over time. Cut them and the path clears. Keep them and the game never changes. The first is the habit of abandoning ship when the seas turn cold. It looks innocent. A new business starts with a burst of naive cheer. The phones feel hot, everyone smiles, and even the coffee tastes better. Then the day arrives when the inbox is empty and the plan feels heavy. It is the season after the honeymoon, the desert of doubt. That is where most people start over. They switch industries, they swap models, they trade one vehicle for another and call it strategy. In truth, it is practiced escape. The result is a portfolio of beginnings and no endings. Fitness works this way, relationships work this way, and money works this way. Nothing pays if you never reach the reward phase. What separates those who accumulate from those who circle is not luck, it is stamina for boredom, pain, and uncertainty. It is frustration tolerance, the ability to sit inside discomfort without flinching. When you stay through the slow months, you learn to spot the shape of an opportunity inside the fog. You learn the bad days are data, not verdicts. Wealth favors the ones who do not flinch. The second habit hides inside polite questions. It is the urge to get approval from the crowd before you move. That impulse feels wise, it feels safe, it even feels responsible. In reality, it hands your future to people who do not live with your consequences. Advice arrives soaked in fear and wrapped in stories that were never yours. A cousin remembers a friend who failed, a parent repeats what they were told, a partner raises every what-if the mind can conjure. Decisions stall, momentum dies, and confusion blooms. Action creates clarity, approval creates noise. The people you admire did not assemble a committee to vote on their conviction. They listened to a small future board, the vision of who they intend to be, and the few voices qualified to speak to it. When every voice nods yes, it is often the wrong move. The right moves feel lonely at first, then obvious later. The third habit is elegant and seductive. It is the chase for market gains before you have learned to earn. Stocks, crypto, property, all the levers look like shortcuts when your skills are not yet compounding. It is a mirage. Multiplication is meaningless if the base number is tiny and fragile. Early resources belong in the builder, not the bet. Courses, mentors, projects that stretch your ability. Environments that raise your standard, these are investments with control and leverage. They do not flash on a chart, but they compound in a way no index fund can match when your talent starts printing. Polishing the exterior while the engine rusts is theater. Patient builders reap bigger returns than frantic traders because the human who earns is the highest yielding asset over the long haul. Make the person too valuable to ignore and the markets become a tool, not a lifeline. The fourth habit lives around dinner tables and in group chats. It is taking money advice from people who do not have money. It sounds harsh, but it is arithmetic. Your circle sets your altitude. Sit in rooms where a small salary is called security, and your brain will defend that ceiling like a warrior. Step into a zip code where 7 figures is considered entry level, and your standards will revolt until they match the room. Proximity shifts narratives without a lecture. Hearing how people with resources talk about risk, time, and generosity rewires stories about scarcity. If you cannot get invited into those rooms yet, watch them from a distance. Read their books, buy their programs, move to a neighborhood where prosperity feels normal. Even if they are not your friends, your mind will absorb the cadence. The first shock is cultural, the second shock is mathematical, and the third is personal. You start to believe that more is not just possible, it is required. No advice is better than bad advice, and no room is better than the wrong room. The fifth habit is the most controversial. It hides in love. Choose a partner who resents your growth, and you will pay a price larger than any failed investment. Money is not just numbers, it is choice, freedom, and power. A partner threatened by your ambition will not debate you. They will drip doubt into the hours when your guard is down. One sentence at breakfast, one sigh at midnight, one small criticism repeated for months, and your edge softens. Performance fades, risks shrink, the light dims. The closest voice becomes your moderator and your jury. The right partner multiplies your courage and calls you higher. The wrong one subtracts you from yourself. Building anything meaningful is already hard. Doing it while the person beside you fears your momentum is a slow sabotage. You do not need a cheerleader who agrees with everything. You need an ally who respects your direction and is strong enough to carry their own. The twist is simple. Cutting these 5 habits is not about becoming someone new. It is about refusing what quietly kept you small. Do not leave every time the road hurts. Stop asking the crowd for a green light. Fund the builder before the bet. Let your altitude be set by those who have already climbed. Share your life with someone who wants your sky to widen. Wealth is less a miracle and more a series of refusals, practiced daily. If one of these habits vanished for a year, which one would change your trajectory the most, and what evidence would you expect to see when the year ends?